deposit. Those debit cards for people with last names starting with letters towards the beginning of the alphabet will start going out December 5th. Now, the time frame for people who aren't included in that will be announced later this month. About 23 million people qualify for a payment. Andrea, Ty?
Lisa, will appear that will tell you when your payment is set to arrive. Now, if you try to log on and you're prompted with payment status not available, keep in mind that this could be because your payment hasn't been processed yet or the IRS doesn't have enough information to send you a payment. Now, the online tool will be updated once a day, and the IRS is using the latest tax return information on file to help determine the amount you receive, which is up to $1,400.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says that bill will be voted on in the Senate today. Then it goes back to the House, where it's expected to pass quickly.
$1,000 to $2,000 stimulus payments are here, so get ready to receive it very fast, everybody. In October, millions of Californians were set to receive in relief payments up to $1,000 as part of the middle class tax refund. But now it's November, and many Golden State residents are still waiting. California posted a record $97 billion surplus, and it's sending rebates of between $200 to $1,000 to individuals earning less than $250,000 annually, and households earning less than $500,000. The Californians will receive the middle class tax refund payment by direct deposit, everybody, and this state's franchise tax board has also published a schedule for issuing payments. Now, the board said today that it has issued around 4.5 million direct deposits and mailed out 1 million debit cards. People, check your mailbox now because you can receive a stimulus check by the end of the month. Generally, direct deposit payments will be made to taxpayers who either filed a tax return and received a tax refund just by direct deposit, everybody. And the middle class tax refund debit card payments are to be mailed out to the remaining eligible taxpayers. The refunds are being issued via direct deposit for those who previously received a Golden State stimulus payment during the crisis, and now these direct deposits are supposed to go out between October and the next year. For those taxpayers who did not receive the Golden State stimulus but are eligible for the class tax refund can also see direct deposits in the middle of November. But according to almost 2/3 of the U.S. states, they have adopted some sort of tax relief this year, and the tax cut trend has been fueled by record state surpluses and huge growth in state revenues after an initial downturn during the crisis. But Republican-led states have been more apt to approve permanent tax reductions, and Democratic states like California have opted for a one-time tax rebate instead of multiple ones throughout the year. So how much you can receive is just dependent on your tax refund, everybody, your filing status, and dependents that you claim. For instance, according to a new analysis, Kentucky saw the largest drop in unemployment claims in the country. The largest drop seen in Kentucky was accompanied by decreases in New Hampshire, North Carolina, Arkansas, and Tennessee, respectively. So overall, about 25 states saw total unemployment claims last week, lower than those reported the previous week. It follows near record highs again, and now the United States has reduced the total near to record low. The report shows that states there last week were around 217,000 applications for unemployment benefits, and that was a decrease of around 1,000. It means that more people need stimulus now than ever. High inflation, threat of recession could lead to hikes again, and to see this, determine where unemployment claims are dropping the most, researchers compared changes from last week to the same week in 2021, and to the same week again. So a total of 11 states, including South Carolina, have reported unemployment claims last week were greater than the ones before. This is not good, and this shows that stimulus payments have to be sent out. And West Virginia, Delaware, Mississippi, Maryland, and other states, 10 other states, in fact, have seen unemployment claims decrease. So when it comes to the number of claims per 100,000 people, the fewest claims were in states like Alaska. But everybody, we know that President Biden has to do more for American people and send out stimulus payments.
Their national security and promotes national leadership on the global arena. Our majority is delivering new pay raises for heroic men and women in uniform while securing more investments in the next generation of defense technology to keep us strong and qualitatively superior. We are strengthening the security of DoD supply chains while advancing new and fundamental research at HBCUs and MSIs. And we are further supporting the Ukrainian people in their fight for democracy with $1 billion additional.
In response to rising mortgage rates, the mix of job gains also reflects shifts in consumer behavior. For much of the past 2 years, Americans spent on homes and furnishings and other goods, boosting employment at warehouses and transportation companies. Many Democrats, everybody, are upset at Republicans for not agreeing to plan for President Biden's new spending plan. Now, there's actually still billions of dollars in relief right now. The Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is facing widespread criticism for his reassertion that the so-called labor shortage in the United States is the result of stimulus checks. During a recent event, McConnell said that direct aid, stimulus money, was sent to American taxpayers over the past 2 years, and that has been holding people back from working. Now, Elizabeth Warren condemned McConnell's statement on Twitter. Mitch McConnell is blaming Americans for not wanting to work, she said. It's absurdly out of touch, and more workers have jobs now than pre-crisis. And investing in affordable childcare will help parents return to work, but Republicans refuse to support actual solutions. That came from Elizabeth Warren. Now, though the stimulus checks and expanded child tax credit did help decrease financial hardship and poverty immediately after they were sent out, the effects of the aid only lasted so long. As of last month, 39% of Americans said that it's difficult to afford regular expenses like bills or rent. And for years now, McConnell and other Republicans have been moaning that the stimulus payments suppress employment. But analysis of the financial program that Congress implemented showed that these claims are not true. In fact, the extra financial aid may have helped people get back into the job market earlier than they would have expected, as the money helped people afford to pay for childcare, expensive measures like that make it easier to get jobs. Now, last year, economists found that employment recovery slowed down in states that ended the crisis era, expanded unemployment insurance checks, in comparison to states that continue giving the checks out. I know many of you are wondering if you're currently owed any stimulus money from the past round of stimulus. Well, Americans might not even be aware that they are still due another stimulus check. Americans who qualify for the stimulus payments get the maximum amount only if their income is $75,000 or below. This only applies for couples who earn $150,000 or below when combined. If you earn more than that, the $1,400 check will begin to decrease, and the income for families is capped out at $80,000 for singles and $160,000 for couples. The IRS issued more checks than $175 million worth of stimulus back in December. A total of 645,000 Americans missed out on these checks since the middle of September. Now, this includes a number of people who missed the notification for the payments in December. If you did not receive all 3 rounds of stimulus but were eligible, you may be able to still claim the check. According to tax experts, anybody that has a baby in 2021 is eligible, so they should definitely claim the recovery rate credit. Similarly to this, if a grandparent can claim, say, a grandchild or another relative as a new dependent, they would also be able to claim the rebate. And starting early this year, the IRS began sending out information via what it dubs the letter 6475. The letter, which the agency did not send out last year, provides details about the total amount you received in third-round payments in 2021, and includes all payments, even if they were issued at separate times. So folks, be sure to check out the information. You definitely don't want to miss out on that. And folks, if you think that President Biden should definitely do something for stimulus payments, then tell me in the comments down below.
The chair recognizes the gentlewoman from California, Ms. Spear, for 5 minutes.